there's fall magic. Now, if I use sun and shade in the spring, am I going to see a difference in the lawn or the overseeding I use with fall magic in the fall?
No, actually, fall magic is very much like sun and shade. It's a great mixture, but and honestly, it could be used in the spring too. It's basically the fall version of sun and shade. I think you were asking me this question, but I didn't answer it completely. About seeding, you want the soil temperature to be as warm as possible. So the best time to seed a lawn is late August or any time in September or the first half of October. But the earlier the better, because the soil temperature is warm deep down. It's been warmed by the summer sun. So if your root system, if the soil is warm down, and I mean by warm, I mean 75 to 78 degrees and it down at 6 inches. Now the grass germinates, and that grass root system is going to go straight down because it's going to seek warmth. As the air temperature cools, the ground, which is like the ocean, takes longer to cool off, it will continue to go deep while the top doesn't grow as fast. And that's the way to grow a great lawn. When you plant, fall is the best time to plant a lawn because you're going to grow roots and you're not going to have the weed competition and you're not going to have the stresses you would have in the summer. More people do it in the spring because they feel like doing it in the spring. But the best time to actually do it is in the fall. And then you also don't have the crabgrass control and things like that to worry about. So it's very simple. You do it, if you want to pick a date, Labor Day weekend's ideal. You scratch the ground, you apply your seed with a dropper broadcast spreader, you put down Magic on Love Your Soil, and you put down a new seeding fertilizer on it, something that's higher in phosphorus, because phosphorus grows the root system of the grass. And you can do it on the same day, one right after another. It doesn't matter the order in which you do it in. What does matter is don't mix them in the same spreader. They're different particle sizes, different throw weights. They go different distances. If you're going to put down all 4 products, you're going to make 4 passes on the lawn. You get a good exercise that day. But you can do it all at once and then water it if you can. It helps. Water it 3 times a week at most. And when you water deeply. You want to get a ½ inch of water down into the root zone, which usually means about 30 minutes with the sprinkler system. But as it gets later, back off on it. Do it twice a week. Eventually, you really won't have to do it at all. So you do want to water it to get it started. But remember, don't drown it because you want that root system to go deep. A good, thick, solid lawn is your best defense against weeds. If there's no room, if all the available ground is covered by grass, there's no room for weeds. So.
Are there any common follies or things where you see people go wrong or misconceptions you see out there?
I've seen people, use a rotary spreader and not realize that they've just put it into their flower beds and now they have grass growing in the flower beds. They're unhappy with that. I know that people don't do anything to prepare the ground sometimes. They just spread it on a very hard packed surface, and maybe there's thatch build up so the grass actually lays in the thatch, and then you get rain. So thatch is like a sponge; it will hold water. Thatch is an overgrown root system, is what it is. It's not grass clippings; it's an overgrown root system, and so they don't ever rake out the lawn or rent a power rake or rake it by hand. You need to grow grass, you need good seed to soil contact. That's the only important thing. Just get good seed to soil contact. You don't have to put down peat moss on it. I've heard people, there's nothing drier than peat moss. If you want to use a seeding mulch, we sell a product called green mulch. You can break that up. It's basically a ground up newspaper dyed green. It will hold water, but you really don't need it. You use that if it's a slope or something. The mistake that people make is they either seed it completely at the wrong time, like they'll be putting it down they can finally get to it and it's after Thanksgiving, and they expect incredible results and the ground temperature is cold at that point. Do it earlier, do it properly, and don't use too much. Follow the directions. There's a feeling in this country that if a little is good, more is better. And so they open up the spreader and they put it down at the heaviest possible rate. On a square inch of ground, it's going to support about 20 grass plants. You don't want 50 grass plants because some will have to die for the others to thrive. You're actually setting yourself back. But here's the best trick. After you put down everything, I said it doesn't really matter the order, and it doesn't. But when I do it, I put down my seed first. Then I put down everything else. The reason is I'm walking over the ground 3 other times. So I'm kind of pressing that seed into the soil. We call it like tipping it under. If you are going to incorporate soil, and people will add soil, it's not really necessary except to even out the grade of the lawn. If they do, don't bury it too deep. That is a common mistake. They'll put the grass down, and now they lay 2 inches of soil on top of it. It's supposed to be pressed into the surface of the soil. If it's 2 inches down, it's not germinating.
Well, thank you for all the advice today, and thank you for your hospitality and having us here at Jonathan Green HQ. I know you guys are continuing to improve just like your grass seed, your website, and adding material up there all the time for us to go and learn more about the products and new things coming with Jonathan Green. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for traveling all this way here from Connecticut. It was a real pleasure to have you, and thank you for your business all these years. You've been a very loyal retailer to us, and we certainly appreciate that.
Absolutely, and looking forward to that to continue. So for key points of this episode, visit the blog section of our website at mackeysinc.com. That's MACKEYSINC.com. And thank you to our producer, Brian McKenna. And thank you to all for listening. And remember, where that is in which you love, that's home. Mackeys, where the home grows.